Welcome back. How about a draft profile? How about somebody that I'm saying maybe he goes at 6? And that's Oliver Moore. Now, Oliver Moore is a center, plays for the U.S. National Team Development Program, and he's overshadowed by other teammates on that team this year, including Will Smith, Adam Fantilli. And so there's a lot of debate about where he's going to go in the draft. And so let's take a look at this. First off, he's 5'11, 176 pounds. So a little bit on the smaller side, but he's a center. And we know that centers very often go earlier in the draft than expected, and he is fast. We'll get to the speed in a moment here, but when you look at the rankings, it's all over the place. Elite Prospects has him at number 6. Hockey Prospect has him at number 18. So there you go. Bob McKenzie has him at number 11. Daily Faceoff has him at 7. And really what this is a matter of is simple. How important is the fact he's a center and he's an explosive skater? Arguably the fastest center in this draft class. This is a draft class which has Bedard. Arguably the fastest skater, a draft that also, as I said, has Bedard in it. So that's going to cause some general managers to take a look. And I would imagine that there's some hemming and hawing back and forth amongst some general managers in the position where Arizona's drafting in later that are going to consider the positives and the negatives of his game. His decision making is the number one thing that I saw most often being questioned. Making a pass that might be easier, but not seeing the pass that would have been more advantageous to his team on a scoring opportunity. So while he's a good passer and he's got really good offensive instincts, there are some hockey IQ questions out there. Now, that absolutely can be fixed with coaching. He's headed to the University of Minnesota, so he'll be in the NCAA this coming season. University of Minnesota is an excellent program, so it's possible that any issues with his decision making get figured out by his new coach this coming season. He has a really strong skill level. He's a good playmaker, not considered to be an elite level playmaker, but good. And so there's a lot here for a general manager. The fact he's a center, a bit undersized at 5'11", sure, but in today's game, being 5'11 isn't the deal breaker it would have been in, say, 2003, 20 years ago. He competes really well in the corners, so his compete level is high, but there's one thing that when you're looking at him in the corners that's an issue. He needs to work at protecting himself. So one thing that was said in one of the reports that I read is that he gets drilled quite a bit out there. He absolutely takes a lot of contact. One scout said the most contact he's seen a player take in this program since Alex Turcotte, who has yet to reach the NHL, in part due to injuries and things that have happened with him. So it's something that Moore needs to work on, that he needs to work on better protecting himself in the corners. He can still take that contact, but make sure that it's in a way where he doesn't potentially get hurt at that rate. So one other thing that's interesting to me is, and there were various reports on this, that they criticized his work on the power play, but praised his work on the penalty kill. So he's seen as a very good penalty killer. Again, he's a center, good at killing penalties, a lot of speed. That speed sometimes gets him in a bit of trouble too, in that he only has that one gear. So he's top speed all the time. I did see one report saying it'd be nice if he slowed down his game a bit, but these are all coachable. This is all stuff that's coachable. So center, elite level speed, really good hands, solid shot as well, and a quick release. There will be teams that want him. This draft could very well be one where the draft list that, say, Toronto has versus the draft list that an Arizona or an Anaheim has, draft list Ottawa has, they could be all completely different. So it'll be fascinating to see with this draft if teams move up and move down in the draft because a player they like is available at that spot, or if they decide, you know what, we like this player, we know other teams probably don't, we're willing to wait and see if he's available. And so there may be teams that have more in their top 10 and teams that barely have more in their top 20 because of some of the drawbacks, maybe not being, things they can overlook. And he's not seen as being as versatile as Will Smith. He does play on the second line in this program, so he's been overshadowed. But that's the thing. Has he been overshadowed? Is he actually a really good player that hasn't had as much attention because of his teammates? We'll see. But that speed is what everybody's talking about and could drive him into the top 10. So he could be anywhere from 6 and beyond. I don't see him going 5th. I have him going 6th. Elite Prospects has him at 6th. Consolidated rankings have him at 7th, meaning that all of the rankings that Elite Prospects adds together, he averages out to 7th in the draft. Keep in mind, Hockey Prospect is not one that they have on their list. So we'll see. Is Hockey Prospect right? Is Elite Prospects right? It really depends on whether or not the drawbacks in his game become an issue or if he can iron those out. If he irons them out, he could be a steal. If he doesn't iron them out, he's going to be one to watch at the NHL level, and let's hope he doesn't get hurt, because we've seen where a guy like Jacob Trouba, we know, right? So if Trouba gets a shot at a 176-pound kid in a corner, man, that could be ugly. So that's something that does need to be worked on. There's time. Again, playing in the NCAA, they should be able to help him out with that. But let me know your thoughts. Where do you think Oliver Moore goes in this upcoming draft? It's only a few weeks away. The draft book is not out from Hockey Prospect at the time I'm recording this, but it should be out soon. Should be out next week. And once the Hockey Prospect book's out, there's a lot more depth things I can do. You'll notice I haven't talked about a defenseman yet. The defense in this draft, there might be one or two that go in the top 10, but it's likely that won't be the case, although there are a couple that have moved up the draft board. So again, it really is kind of all over the place. We'll see how it turns out. Again, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.